The ongoing controversy surrounding Disney's live-action Snow White remake has ignited a firestorm of debate, with fans, critics, and even rival creators weighing in on what is shaping up to be one of the most contentious adaptations in recent memory. At the center of this discourse are Rachel Zegler's polarizing comments and the emergence of Brett Cooper's alternative adaptation under the Daily Wire banner. Together, these projects have sparked conversations about storytelling, representation, and the fine line between honoring tradition and embracing modernity. Both adaptations aim to reimagine Snow White for today's audiences, but their starkly different approaches have created a cultural divide that shows no sign of slowing down. The controversy first gained traction when Rachel Zegler, cast as the titular character in Disney's live-action remake, made waves with her unconventional portrayal of Snow White. Fans have long held the original Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, 1937, in high regard as a cornerstone of Disney's legacy and cinematic history. With its themes of resilience, romance, and hope, the animated classic became a timeless fairy tale cherished across generations. However, Zegler's reinterpretation of the character has challenged these long-standing perceptions, polarizing audiences. Zegler has made it clear that her Snow White will not adhere to the conventional mold of a lovesick princess awaiting rescue. Instead, the character is framed as a self-reliant figure embarking on a personal journey to find her inner strength and fulfill her late father's dream of her becoming a fearless leader. While such a shift might resonate with modern sensibilities, many fans feel it undermines the charm and simplicity of the original story. In her critique of the 1937 film, Zegler described the prince as a guy who literally stalked Snow White, a remark that did little to endear her to the film's devoted fan base. This shift from traditional romance to a narrative centered on independence has left some feeling disconnected from a story they once loved. Adding fuel to the fire, Disney revealed that the iconic Seven Dwarfs would not appear in their original form. Instead, the dwarfs are replaced with a diverse group of magical creatures, a decision influenced by actor Peter Dinklage's critique of the original depiction of little people. While Disney's intention may have been to avoid perpetuating stereotypes, this creative choice has been met with widespread criticism. Fans argue that the removal of the dwarfs detracts from the essence of the story, replacing beloved characters with a modernized element that feels out of place in the classic fairy tale. Zegler's casting itself has been a point of contention. For many, the defining characteristic of Snow White, her skin as white as snow, is integral to her identity and the story's themes. Zegler, who has Colombian heritage, defended her role by suggesting that in this remake, Snow White's name derives from surviving a snowstorm as a baby rather than her complexion. However, this reinterpretation has done little to sway those who view the casting as a departure from the character's essence. Critics argue that such changes prioritize messaging over storytelling, leaving fans yearning for a more faithful adaptation. Amid this growing dissatisfaction, the Daily Wire announced its own version of the Snow White story, titled Snow White and the Evil Queen. Casting Brett Cooper in the lead role, this adaptation promises to stay true to the Brothers Grimm fairy tale, emphasizing timeless values like kindness, friendship, and romance. Cooper's portrayal, as revealed in promotional material, embraces the classic image of Snow White, complete with fair skin and a traditional costume that evokes nostalgia for the original. Fans eager for a return to traditional storytelling have embraced this project as an antidote to Disney's reimagining. The Daily Wire has framed its adaptation as a response to what it sees as Disney's agenda-driven storytelling. Jeremy Boring, co-CEO of the Daily Wire, has criticized Disney for straying from its roots and neglecting the legacy of Walt Disney himself. Boring has emphasized the significance of the original Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, which not only saved Disney from financial ruin, but also set the foundation for the company's success. He argues that the modern remake fails to honor the story's timeless appeal, instead prioritizing fleeting cultural trends over enduring values. Brett Cooper has played a central role in amplifying the Daily Wire's vision for Snow White and the Evil Queen. Known for her YouTube commentary on cultural issues, Cooper has a loyal fan base that appreciates her candid and relatable style. Her involvement in this project has been met with enthusiasm, as she promises a faithful portrayal that aligns with the story's origins. Cooper's commitment to authenticity and her focus on preserving the story's core values resonate with audiences who feel disillusioned by Disney's changes. Her assurances that the adaptation will avoid political overtones have further bolstered support for the Daily Wire's approach. The stark contrast between Disney's and the Daily Wire's interpretations underscores a broader cultural debate about the role of storytelling in modern entertainment. Disney's Remake seeks to modernize Snow White for contemporary audiences, emphasizing self-discovery and empowerment over traditional romance. Meanwhile, the Daily Wire's adaptation offers a counter-narrative, aiming to preserve the original fairy tale's simplicity and timeless themes. These opposing approaches have sparked passionate discussions among fans, with some championing Disney's progressive take and others celebrating the Daily Wire's commitment to tradition. As these two adaptations unfold, the stakes for both projects are high. Disney faces the challenge of convincing skeptical fans that its modernized take can still capture the magic of the original. The studio's efforts to balance inclusivity with storytelling have drawn both praise and criticism, leaving it in a precarious position. On the other hand, the Daily Wire must ensure that its adaptation doesn't merely serve as a reactionary project, but stands on its own as a compelling retelling of a beloved classic. Ultimately, the enduring appeal of Snow White lies in its universal themes and emotional resonance. Whether audiences gravitate toward Disney's reimagining or the Daily Wire's faithful adaptation, the story's legacy continues to inspire and provoke dialogue. The tale of Snow White may be centuries old, but its ability to spark meaningful conversations about representation, tradition, and the art of storytelling ensures that its relevance endures. What are your thoughts on the Snow White debate? Do you prefer Disney's modernized approach or the Daily Wire's traditional retelling? Share your opinions in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates on this ongoing saga. The magic of Snow White remains undeniable, and the story's next chapter promises to be as captivating as ever.